with 10 people if you understand it, and they all share it with 10 people. You don't know how fast that shit take off. Nah, it requires too much work to push 10 buttons on the screen. But let me go see what my baby daddy got on his page. Let me go see what my baby mama posts. I say fuck them all. But I'm not allowed to abandon the struggle at this point. I'm too far in it. But I can limit my participation to only absolute necessity. So if it's not necessary for me to do a video, I won't be doing one. If it's not necessary for me to do anything to liberate anybody, I will not be doing anything. I'm only going to do what's necessary. I'm going to do the bare fucking minimum, and I'm going to let misery run its course. Because misery loves company, and I don't like misery. So wherever misery at, don't look for me there, because I'm not coming. Because if I come, misery gonna get fucked up. You know? That's all it is to that. You know? Just think about this. In the time that we've been watching this video, almost an hour, right? It's 101. Almost an hour. I started at almost 2 hours. Holy shit. I started at 11:11. Right? Now, in the time it took for me to make that comment about sharing, 4 people done shared the video already. 5 done shared the video already. Now imagine in the time that we was watching this video, reviewing this video, if at the very beginning everybody would have just went down their friends list clicking invite. Imagine how, I seen you, Amos. Imagine how different it would have been. You gotta think. If at the beginning of this video, when you first seen this motherfucker come on here, you would have just been listening, watching, and while you watching and listening, just like LaDonna just did, clicking the share button as you listening, like I do at the beginning of the video. Just like I do, I see Chanel. Just like I do at the beginning when I do my invites to invite all these people to watch. I invite almost everybody in my friends list, except for people that I know are absolutely against me. They don't never get an invite. I already know who they are. So I go down my list and just hit invite. And all the people start popping up as I'm doing my invites, and then I start dropping the information. That's just how easy it is. But we got to make it difficult because we need something to complain about it. That's actually not powder blue. This is actually gray. But what you looking is the light hit my blue cup. When the light hit my blue cup, it reflects onto my gray shirt and makes it look powder blue. But thanks, Jazz. I know whenever I come see you, I'll wear powder blue. And so, I ain't going to drag this out, but I just wanted to show some connections to Mexico, what it mean, what I know. I know what the fuck going on over there. I know about the Mexican-American War and how when the so-called Americans beat the so-called Mexicans and they divided up the land into California, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and Texas. There might even be another state in there that I might have missed. I already know how that took place. I just haven't figured out where it makes sense to me if I live in Michigan and Canada take the thumb part and just say, this is my shit now. I live in Michigan, but I can't go to the thumb. That does not fucking compute. It's still fucking Michigan. But you just barred me from going to another part of my own fucking shit. This is the conditions of Mexico's and the illegal immigration. Okay. I know who see. Oh. Cesar Chavez, the migrant farm worker, has a street in my town named after him. Cesar Chavez was an organizer for Mexican farm labor. I don't know why the fuck is he such a big deal for motherfucker to scream in my fucking head about him. Anyway, without Cesar Chavez, the conditions in the plant on the fields where they pick the oranges and the potatoes and various crops in the Southwest, it was very difficult, back-breaking work with very minimum amount of pay. Cesar Chavez organized the migrant farm workers to protest and to not work for slave wages. Now, most people think that he was only doing that to benefit the migrant worker. But here was the kicker. He didn't do it for the migrant worker at all. He didn't give a fuck about the migrant worker. He even said out his own goddamn mouth that he didn't care about the migrant workers and they should do something to stop the immigration influx. He was concerned about the people of his clan that live in the area that the migrant farm worker was undermining from making a fair and competitive wage to function in this country. Because the migrant farm workers that was coming over here then didn't care what they worked for as long as they could send something home. That's not the new migrant worker. And they don't have the same mentality. Everybody about the dollar now. So the work of Cesar Chavez is the same as the work for a workers' union. What he complained about with the migrant worker is exactly the same as what the tenured union workers is complaining about the temp status, permanent temp status worker. The complaint is the same, right? And with Cesar Chavez on it, Jazz, yeah, I tell everybody, if you are a supporter of the indigenous people of Mexico and you want to know who banner to fly, Zapata, Emiliano Zapata, the Zapatista Liberation Army. If you want to know where the real freedom fighters at, I'm telling you now, Zapatista, Emilio Zapata, and the Zapatista Liberation Army. Zapata is the original mastermind who wrote the blueprint for their liberation that they following, and the Zapatistas following that shit, and the federales can't get the fuck in the mountains. Y'all got to go see what's going on. If y'all don't know what's going on, y'all lost already. Everywhere there are struggling people on earth, if you're not abreast with the struggle, you are getting lost deeper and deeper into the sludge. All of the struggles are interwoven and related. Why do you think Che Guevara, who was an Argentinian, is the champion of the Cuban Revolution and contributor to multiple nations and Africans fighting for liberation? And also a major influence of his was Mao Zedong, who was from the Qian, who organized the Chinese and who kicked out the religion as being the opiate of the masses. All of the struggles, to the Australians in the down under, to the people in New Zealand that's been almost wiped out, and all of the indigenous wildlife is almost eliminated. The struggle is universal. The revolution is a myth. The revolution means that you make a move so dastardly that you put the same motherfucker in power back in power once you remove them. We done with revolution. We rebelling now. This is the revolt. The insurrection, the uprising. We ain't doing no more revolutions because we not putting no more monsters back in power. Unless y'all put me in power, which I don't really give a fuck one way or the other. As long as the people ain't free, I'm going to be a scourge to this bitch. I'll burn this motherfucker from pole to pole. But with people free, y'all can even forget I'm even fucking here. If the people free, y'all can even forget I'm fucking here. If the people oppressed, y'all need to either support me or get the fuck off planet. Because as long as oppression going on, it's going to get bad. And the only reason there's oppression right now is because the oppressed choose to remain oppressed. There is no liberation and no freedom where oppression is the way of life. And where oppression is the way of life, there you will find destruction if I have anything to say about it. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Exactly 2 hours into it. So share the video, share it to y'all groups, whatever it take. Do y'all part. If y'all don't matter to me one way or another. I'm just here to get y'all free. Y'all don't have to be free if y'all don't choose to be free. Nobody does. You can stay oppressed, but you won't do it here. Somebody else waiting to oppress you. They can take you off world. So with that, I wrap this up and I say peace out in all of my Milorasa Papi aquí.
Got your cards?
Please, I need a filter. Hold on 1 second. I always talk about being accountable, but we're gonna do a filter today. Peace, Uncle
I
Rod.
tried to do a filter, but I was so ugly it didn't do nothing but make shit worse.
No, you are very handsome. You're very handsome. You know,
You just trying to make me blush.
no. It's funny
You
because you look like my youngest son.
oh, okay.
So I say that to say that I've been trying to speak with you and tell you like we are all from, we're related a lot of times. Or
Yeah,
not so more so related like bloodline, but tribe. We
yeah,
met each other in past lives.
yeah. And that's why we have that familiarity when we meet certain people. Like,
Right.
don't I know you from somewhere?
Right.
No, you don't know me. No, motherfucker, I know your ass from some goddamn where. You don't know me, yeah, motherfucker, I know
Or
your
like
ass.
you
But
just
I don't
pick
know
up
where I
like
know
you
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 from.
was let like you pick up like you left off just like 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
definitely. How are you feeling today?
Like I got a cape on with an S on that motherfucker.
You got an S on your chest. No, what my cousin say, he said you got a S, you got an S in the middle like a Skittle. No, he say something like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
funny.
Yeah, we just really knocking.
Yeah.
So what's the question we gonna go over? Cause in the tarot spread you get your most accurate information from specific questions,
That is true. That is true.
right? So
Um,
the more specific the question, then the easier it is to narrow down the answer.
and also, it shouldn't be a yes or no question. You want to try to make it a
Right.
question that can be expounded on, like, that you could build off of too.
Uh, So the way that the question wrote, the question is like turning the dial for the radio in order for the answer to come in.
Yeah.
The visualization is used as an aid to sharpen the particular sense, right? So when you
Right.
pick up your deck is the radio,
Right.
right? The question is telling you what to dial the radio into,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And then the answer come back through the radio as the song that you requested with the question.
Right.
So as you lay the cards down, you are playing the notes
Mm-hmm.
to the song that is the question,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The more you know about symbolism and the meanings of different things, the more you can fine tune your equalizer in order to get a crisper, clearer reading from your oracle read,
Okay.
right? So there are certain things like you always study symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you get you different dictionaries of symbols, encyclopedias of symbols, because you want to know what symbols look like or mean in different from different points of view.
Right.
the more symbols you can assimilate a meaning to, the more you, when you see that symbol, it's fine tuning the oracle read,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So, let me look in the questions and see if there's something good in there that we can read on.
Because sometimes I think I get jumbled. Like I realize that because, like you're saying, you need to sharpen your skill. I pull from personal experience a lot of times because I'm not as in depth in different things. Like how you're saying to be able to communicate it in different ways. So that makes
So
sense.
you see how you say you pull from personal experience?
Mhm.
You ever read the cards and you have a overwhelming emotional sensation,
Mhm.
and then you'll remember the last time you had that sensation, what did it mean?
Mhm.
Because now you are picking up the vibration or the frequency of the message energetically, so it's stimulating you emotionally, and the subconscious mind is going to bring the energy up according to how you remember the feeling,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So, like, like for instance, something horrible happened, somebody called on the phone, and you know that your stomach, your heart dropped to your stomach as soon as you pick up the phone.
Mhm.
You already know the frequency. You feel the frequency before they ever say anything.
Right.
And you say, hello?
You already know. You're expecting what to expect. So you already,
Right.
yeah.
So when you do the tarot read, you'll get that same sensation,
Right.
right? And that's telling you the answer to the symbol that activated that energy.
Right. That's like I have to get my breath together too because my breath allows me to tune into exactly what the feeling is. And so like
Mhm.
in the future for us as a tribe and as a collective, the reason why you hear a lot of people talking about fasting, why you hear them talking about cleansing your body, removing metals and detoxing at this time, especially people that you never thought you would hear talking about that, is because you need to be fine tuning
Me,
with your intuition. You need to be
look,
fine tuned into your discernment. So when it say left, you don't have a question in your mind about it being left or right.
right. So this is why you as a oracle or you read tarot. Tarot is the training wheels on your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get to a point where the card will start flipping in your mind off of an event, and you'll know, oh, that's a knight of swords. It's coming in fast in the air,
Right.
right? You automatically see it playing out because it's the same way that the hieroglyphs in Egypt. When you go to what they call the alpha state, for too long. So I really want y'all to get the gist of the understanding of when I be talking about Big Mama and where I'm getting my instructions from, it'll make sense to y'all. All right, so that's all the people I'm allowed to invite. So when we talk about Big Mama and we say God is a woman, prime creator, because the prime creative energy in the universe is a energy called Shakti. Shakti in the physical form is what you call divine feminine, fire feminine energy, which is pure passion, which is pure unrestricted love. So we start off in the stars. God is a woman, right? So then I go to the next one, and we familiar with the zodiac, Scorpio, Leo, all that, but we ain't familiar with that as we is with this. This is the original. This is the one of the oldest zodiacs written. Now, when you understand that each one of us come from a accumulation of stardust that come from one of these star systems, right? That's the people that's organic to the earth. and they form from all these different energies that's coming in. Now, when we look up close, I'm going to blow this up so y'all can see. You'll see this image right here of Big Mama depicted as, you see, with the butcher knife in her hand, but some say it's a leg of lamb, but that's if you watch in Misery. But she represents, see that triangle? In the center of the zodiac. So when you see the all-seeing eye and it's upside down to this, that's our as below. This is the as above version. And this is who's in the all-seeing eye. We call her Tawaret for short, because her name long as hell. They called her Ta'ert, Tawaret, and a few other names. We just call her Big Mama in our endearing fashion for the prime creator. And she sits in the middle of all of the energies that make up what we call the zodiacal wheel, or the great wheel in the sky. This wheel in the sky is broke up into 4 sections, right? These 4 sections in the sky is not called north, south, east, and west, right? We call that's from looking at it on the ground. So you have to use these with star maps. It's a different system. But this is the up. And from here, we get our instructions on high, is what they say. Now, in this, the same place that she's sitting, it's the seat, the great mother seat, right? The dark mother, the black Madonna. Before she comes to earth and sits on a physical chair, this energy has to clear the pathways using all of these other star systems energies in people, right? So we can read from the stars which zodiac sign is responsible for what function in the human family. And what happens when you master the energies that's embodied by each of the sign. In the cartoon Avatar, they call it fire bending, earth bending, water bending, and air bending, which gives you access to the number 5, which they call it ether. Ether is 999, which represents the dark shit between here. That dark shit is called dark matter. Prima matter. It's all around. It's all through everything in here. Pitch black. That's the noon. This is the primordial waters from which creation come in the Egyptian and the ancient stories of creation around the world. But it's called the primordial waters of creation. Or simply the noon, N-U-N. When you look it up, that's what all it is. Now, modern science calls that dark matter. And dark matter up there is in the human body as a carbon 666, which is melanin, and the melanin can communicate with dark matter without your brain being involved. Big Mama uses the neuromelanin as what you call a black mirror. So when she flips a sign on these energy rays, I don't know if how well y'all can see this, but like here you see a line going from Libra to Scorpio, right? That green line from Libra to Scorpio. That's Big Mama telling Scorpio to balance what? What's next? The Virgo, right? But in order to balance the Virgo, he has to first tame the lion, right? And then it said he had 1 foot on Pisces and one on Vesica. Pisces is Cancer. And Cancer is represented by the crab, but the symbol for it is the 6-9, which is a balance, which represents the 2 fish on the other feet. Right? So now that's telling us to flip it. We flip the map and we see a different story being told. So the map tells the story in its construct by putting the Libra between Scorpio and Virgo. Because in ancient times, Scorpio and Virgo, this is actually a post on my page. Go to the post. This is what it looked like if you pull it up. Right? So if you put Tawaret, like I got up there in the search bar, you see I search for Tawaret, then I go under my name, and then it come up so you can look at it. Right? Now, ironically, the next picture after that, let the matriarchy begin. Because the natural order for Earth, this don't have nothing to do with some of the people that come from other star systems. Their order is not the same as ours. The natural order is matriarchy in the human family. That's just nature. Mama told me if we're going to fix the problem, we're going to fix the problem, we're going to leave well enough alone. Everybody say they want to fix the problem, right? So I simplified it by doing everything I could do on my own without none of the rest of the clans involved. Now we got to get all of the clans that we can involved in short order. And this is what brings us to the 2222 Free Larry Hoover movement. Because this is the return of the matriarchy for the sisters that really know what's going on. This is critical for y'all to get this word, especially among the sisters, because y'all the ones carry the strongest voice in our community. Fuck what anybody else community say, because we have to use our ways, and our oral tradition is at the close of the age, we have to say with resounding agreement, produce the chief. We need to know what's going on our land. Larry is the spokesperson for all of the chiefs on the land. We are responsible to claim our own self-power back. The enemy is not going to give you a damn thing but a dog and pony show to keep you distracted from this movement. Big Mama says seize the portal. 2/22/2022. When you flip the twos, a 5, 5, 5, 50, 55. That means all turns around on the ground. So if it all turns around on the ground off the twos in the sky, that make all of those twos and them fives be sevens. Because 2 plus 5 equals 7. 7 is the number for completion. Right? Because if you got 2 up high and you got 5 down low, right? So you got 2 plus 5 is 7, which gives us 7, 7, 7, 70, 77, which is finished across the board, right? Because the day, the month, and the year all say it's complete, right? So that's off the flip if you can match the science. If I'm not losing y'all. So 777 is a jackpot, right? Now we're coming up with 5 sevens, right? That's 5 G's. That's 5,000. That's an Audi flip. Off those from New York know what I'm talking about when I say Audi 5000 G. Remember? And for y'all who real hip hop heads, y'all know what I'm talking about. Audi is a homonym for one that pokes out. A Audi is flipping out a navel. The navel is a remnant of an umbilical cord. The umbilical cord was connected directly to mama. And mama fed us through the umbilical cord until they put us in this world and told us we had to learn how to feed ourselves. Here, let somebody misteach you and see if you can't figure out how to fix it. So they mistaught us, miseducated us, lied to us, deceived us. They murdered our leadership at every turn. They undermined every potential chief could rise up against them. They killed Chief Littlehorn, a.k.a. Emmett Till. They murdered his father, Chief Bighorn. They murdered us all. But guess what? We back. We back for every fucking thing they owe. It's up to y'all now to get the word out. We gotta break the algorithm of the AI with the Free Larry Hoover cyber bombardment on the 22nd. Y'all can start ramping it up now. If you go to my page on Facebook, you can screenshot these. I'm going to end up screenshotting them and posting them on Instagram too. I was hoping somebody did it before I did, but they didn't. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm going to go over. These is what the banners that I started making look like, just so y'all could get a understanding. Right? So this is how we doing it. Hashtag Free Larry Hoover. Right? By the way, if anybody can think about it, can y'all tag Lil Larry? Because I forgot to tell him I was going live on this topic. So if somebody could add Larry Hoover Jr. in here, I would appreciate it. Okay, so this one right here say cross-reference Free Larry Hoover by paying your favorite spiritual reader. Ask what Spirit says about 2/22/2022. So what we was trying to do with that is everybody like I got my favorite psychic readers, and I would like for them to do a reading on Larry Hoover and this cyber parade and the outcome on they platform, so that the people can start getting it across different platforms what we doing. If we can get a couple of different psychics to pull the reading, and y'all be surprised at what they're going to all say the same thing. Right? I'm telling you what they cards going to say before y'all ever ask them to pull them. Some of us got spirit readers that read tea, different stuff like that. Get them to use a platform. Ask them to do the reading about the Free Larry Hoover Cyber Parade and the outcome from Spirit on their platform. Challenge them. See if it's real. Tell them to see if this shit real. Challenge the oracles to see if it's real. When you get 15 and 20 different oracles telling you the same shit that this motherfucking telling you, that's when you know that I know what I'm talking about. You ain't gonna know it before then. You know? So, Larry is blood tied to the land, a Mississippian by birth. He is the chieftain that all of the chiefs want to speak for us. Of these banners. See, I want y'all to see more than one. This one right here, it's another one. Right? That one say we see clearly 2/22/2022 flips the consciousness to the 5D when we see hashtag Free Larry Hoover flip the narrative back to the original Earthborn Neteru. Then the next one was the Purple Rain reveals a purple rain, a righteous decoy, blood in, true blue, right? Red and blue make purple. 2/22/2022 means a noble line comes with the proof. Free Larry Hoover for him to tell us the truth. So Larry is the one got to give us an update on the land. We have to demand that our chief, this our system, because we can't use their system to get our system back. We have to overthrow their system using our own shit. By the general consensus of the tribes people across the land is all saying on the same day at the same time, free Larry Hoover. They know we ain't bullshitting, and that's the only thing we have to do to shake this shit free. Right? Here's another one. Right? And y'all can make y'all own. Y'all don't have to necessarily use mine. Y'all can whatever y'all think we need to do to get this motherfucker back right and to get the imposters out. Y'all can make the 222 meme however you want to do it. Put it in your timeline. We building up to it, but we want to flood their ass and post this shit all day on the 22nd until they have to address this shit publicly, because now they can't deny us. And once they can no longer deny us and ignore us, this motherfucking squeaky wheel gonna get oiled like a motherfucker. That's just the way it is. This is the law of the land. We've been operating under the law of the seas. The law of the Papal See hadn't got shit to do with me and my people. We want our shit back, and the only way that we can take it back is to prove we are not imbeciles in law. If you go in to Google, right? No. Matter of fact, I already did the post. Let me show y'all the post. Papal Bulls. It was by the order of the Pope that they took all of our birthright inheritance, because the Pope said that we were imbeciles in law. Right? Now, here's a post y'all might want to read. I'm going to go over some of this stuff right quick. This post started out step by step. Oh, this is nationality post. But if you look at the pictures, you see it playing out, because it's the same way that the hieroglyphs in Egypt, when you go to what they call the alpha state, they turn into animated cartoons, and that's how you really get the meaning of what the hieroglyphs are saying. Your spiritual vision being trained through the oracle practice allows you to bring to life the message that's in the hieroglyphs.
Right. Okay. Right.
Right. So when you start recognizing the tarot cards in real time while you driving down the street, that's your subconscious mind now calibrating your conscious mind to read everything you see as you go along as a tarot card.
That's just like when you read people's energies, and basically like when you can read somebody and just tell like their vibe is off or whatever.
Right. Now, the good thing about the tarot read that's different than just knowing their vibe is off, the things that surround the person is going to tell you exactly why their vibe is off and exactly why you need to avoid them. You know what I mean? And the layout of the cards is just being played out in real time among the average people. They don't see it because they are taught that the oracle reading is evil.
Right.
But reading the oracles is not even the goal. You read the oracles to tune your intuition so that you can read what Mother Nature needs you to know in order for you to effectuate change on earth as one of the gods that walk the earth. If you're not prepared to read the messages of Mother Nature as you walk through life and make the adjustments that she tell you to make, then you still low vibrational frequency. You haven't reached what we call God form yet. But we all got a training program in our book of life. And this is how we know. When we look back on our life, we can read our book of life by understanding the things that we went through that was difficult was the test. But everything on the test was in the practice.
Mm.
But because it was practice, it was made easier because it was spread out.
Right. That's when you get nervous
Right?
when it's the real deal. You like, hold on, wait.
Right.
It's
So
game
that's
day.
when you find yourself in adverse conditions saying, how the fuck I get here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I was in the joint looking at the brick walls talking about how in the fuck I end up in some shit like this.
Not listening.
You know? That's not my God form.
Yeah.
My God form, I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. In my God form, I would be a drapetomaniac. You know what that is, right?
I was about to ask you, what is that?
So drapetomania was the condition that they said that the so-called slave had when they kept trying to run away from captivity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they said they were drapetomaniacs. They were
Oh,
runaway
they had to make a
from.
label. They had to make a label for something that was an
Oh yeah,
adverse
yeah. They
effect.
got they got so much shit. I was dying laughing. I'm like, you actually. And then they got a remedy, like for what do you do for the
Of
drapetomaniac to make them
course.
stop running away?
Yeah,
They
make
got
the
a
disease
remedy,
and make the what's it called?
the cure.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So.
And be the only one that got it. That's the coldest dealer in the game. The psyop dealer.
Yeah, I'm going through looking, trying to see if okay. I'm looking here and see if I can find another question.
Okay. I'll shuffle. That's crazy though. Like, um, I first was introduced to you through little big sis Imani, the hood healer. And it was just so much information, just information, spirit, information.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and then she was talking about she's a truth teller, and people get on her so much because it's hard for them to come out of their mind and conceptualize the message that spirit's bringing to them. And a lot of times, like we find comfort in being the victim to something, being victim to disease, circumstance, and all of these different things instead of being the victor to it and figuring out, what the cause was and what the solution is. So when she would talk about things like, you don't suffer from depression, you don't suffer from endometriosis, like some things are chemical, yes, but a lot of things are like built up off of what we do. And so we have to stop screaming victim to the shit that we create in our own life. Because that's that mentality. That's the mentality that they put on us to take a hold of us. And now we finding pride in that victim mentality, talking about, twerk for justice and do this and do that instead of actually doing the shit that equates to the change.
One of the things that we are taught with this slave system narrative that they've been pushing is that we were perpetual victims,
Yes.
and therefore all we gonna ever be is victims.
Victimized.
So if you look at our complaints, it's not that they not accurate.
Right.
Right? They is killing us in the street. The
Mm-hmm.
police is shooting down our people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They are kidnapping our kids, using them for food products, sex toys, and for
Organs.
drugs. Right? Organ harvesting. This is all true. But the thing about it is, even though it's true, nobody's trying to stop it. Everybody wants to whine about it.
Right.
So if you're not gonna do anything to stop it, what the fuck is you whining for?
And stopping it starts internally. Stopping it really starts with you changing yourself and your perception and what you do and what you do it for.
Mm-hmm.
balance, not just running up in the streets all the time, definitely. But you know what I'm saying? You definitely got to start with your own perception.
Yeah. So instead of just laying there to be a victim, suffering from learned helplessness, say, wait a minute, motherfucker. Stop kicking me while I'm down. Get your motherfucking foot off my neck before I move and break your whole goddamn leg out of the socket and beat you to death with that motherfucker. I'm not the Martin Luther King, we shall
I
overcome.
see. Well,
That's that.
well, not even that.
I'm the
I believe I agree with you. I think there is a time when war is war, but also, you know what I'm saying? Like war looks like community. War looks like you getting your shit in order so that you're not lazy no more. You at least grow on your own food, or if you your own food, and if you're not, you protecting the old lady down the street who knows how to grow food. You protecting the other woman or the other man's and his family because they have this and you can do that. Like all that separate shit, all that rah, you using it for the wrong things. And also when it's time to do that call, when it's time to move forward, have your ducks in a row, like Unc said.
Yeah, it goes back to what I said earlier about me positioning myself to do this work where I cushion myself where I cannot fall in any direction.
Right.
Everything that I'm doing, I set it up before I walked away from the system where I can navigate through their system without being part of it.
I saw somebody just say deer don't hide. Do you know how to hunt? I know some of y'all do. I know some of y'all in the backwoods, y'all have that innate ability. But here in Cali, here in the cities, like who knows how to hunt? Who knows how to start a fire? Who knows how to forage? Who knows what herbs and medicine are going to heal what? Who knows Little Big Sis was spitting game? Who knows CPR? Who knows basic first aid? Who knows these things? Because when you're talking about you want to go out there, you're not prepared. After that, then what? Then
Yep.
what? Because when it's chaos in the streets, what you gonna do? Be in survival mode and for yourself, and that's not the way that you win.
Well, when you're in survival mode, that's desperation.
Exactly.
And under desperation, you're going to make tactical errors because with the desperations, it's going to cause mistakes to be made.
You're thinking
The,
irrationally.
right. So the mistake will surface as a tactical error that'll put you in an adverse position. Right. But sometimes what look like a tactical error is a only option scenario where you have no other way to play this shit but to play the hand you dealt.
Right.
Right. So that's the key part to understanding that we all going through this shit on different levels in different directions in different ways. And some of us had it hard as fuck.
Right.
And if right is right and wrong is wrong, the ones that had it the hardest need some relief now. Right?
But
They
you know,
they
when you
they
go
pay their dues to
Mhm.
get their free.
But when you go into retirement, you have to set yourself up properly. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When you about to go on vacay, you prepare for vacation. You buying your
Yeah.
fits for each day, for
But
dinner,
see,
for the beach.
the biggest problem right now is it's a slow fall in building, and they don't really think that this big motherfucker falling because it was such a huge machine,
Right.
right? So it looked like it's falling in slow motion, but in real time, that motherfucker coming down.
Yeah. I hope not, but I hope not, but you know.
Well, part of what I wanted to do for Taj was to create a condition where he can retire and he no longer has to teach for those that much time. He can do it as a leisurely pursuit now when he sit around and have conversations with other people from the struggle, and then we can get to watch it like they watch their late night TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I like, can you imagine just being able to turn your TV on and see a casual conversation on civics between Taj and Malachi York,
No.
or say Taj and Farrakhan? Just a cordial conversation about the mechanics of government and the understanding of waking up people, or any subject that y'all throw out there.
Right.
Right? To see these elders to not at their job done, we got to go to a different level, but to be able to draw from their study and the years of teaching, right? We can benefit so much more by um, seeing a casual conversation in the living room setting between um, Larry Hoover and H. Rap Brown, right? Can you imagine just the casual conversation they would have and the value that add to our community,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we need to understand the struggle that we've been through. And most of the people don't have a very keen perception of protracted struggle, what it means, and how it takes for us to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
probably been
Steve Coakley was the truth. I wish Steve Coakley was still around and give us some more of them jewels he used to be dropping.
who was that?
You remember him? Remember Steve Coakley from Chicago?
Mm-mm. I don't even.
But he was the one who was teaching us about the Black Boule.
No, I have to look
Right.
him up.
Yeah. He didn't know that he was talking about the JDL when he was talking about them Negroes. He didn't know he was talking about them motherfuckers like that. He thought he was talking about pale skinned Europeans and the Negroes that worked for them.
Mm.
He didn't know he was dragging out the motherfuckers that was hiding behind the scenes in the secret societies doing the dirt, and he was putting them in the front, letting everybody see what these Negroes look like,
Mm.
and they couldn't have that.
Hold on, I need to write his name down. Are you saving this live?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go back. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I need this name. Hold on.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But it's like part of it, like the fraternities and sororities and the universities and colleges,
Mm-hmm.
right? They not all there to manufacture motherfuckers that work for the system,
Mm-hmm.
right? They really there for us to be able to have bonds of affection between us off brotherhood through similar circumstances of struggle. So when you go through the hazing period, this is when you build in the bond with the brothers of your order.
In the trust, okay.
Yeah.
But it got infiltrated then.
Yeah. All of the secret societies got infiltrated.
Yeah.
Point of entry was 32 degrees Scottish Rite.
Mm. Man, you know why education is so important? Because, or at least just being able to comprehend and pick up a book and just get what's being put down in the book is because you're dropping so many gems and so much knowledge that I know I'm missing. Like, the games, are you trying to get all the apples? I'm like, you know what? It's divine. Like, whoever it's meant for is going to fall into the lap and the ears of the babes. So it's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things, like, I didn't know when I was putting this puzzle together that it was going to play out like this.
Yeah.
Nobody don't understand the level of fucked up I was to find out that some motherfuckers that looked it like us was behind this shit the whole time. That was the most traumatic shit I ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, because I mean this whole time you're told that your enemy, especially for Aboriginal, black men and women, your enemy is the white man. Your enemy is the white man. And
Mm.
so you're told that
And
really all
that's
your
a
life
half
and
truth
through
too.
generations.
Hey, look, that's a half truth too.
It is there is some truth
Because
of like
the enemy is the white man, but the white man ain't white.
exactly.
That's the half of the truth that ain't been told.
See, so my thing that I'm coming into at this moment is like we perceive white as a complexion, you know, and then we also look at it as a race of people. And we know that the black woman and the black man can give birth to an array of colors, right? So in knowing
Hmm.
that, then okay, I have to accept the truth that if we're talking scientifically, then the makeup of the black woman and the black man is God, because that's what gives birth to all the people. But when we're talking about living on a planet, and when you talk about giving birth and then dropping off, you know, little bodies everywhere, they adapt to the environment. So their skin changes, their, you know, everything changes about the people. And like in my heart of hearts, I feel like it's so much about character at this point, because the truth, there's a lot of truths have been lost in the history of oppression that we're taught. And also we picked up so many prejudice that we did the work of the enemy. So yeah, there was segregation and there is racism, but that's because there it was a game of telephone and somebody whispered something in somebody's ear and you picked it up as a trait and as a personality. And I feel like it's really about character now, because we think that the enemy is just a particular set of people, when really it's a conglomerate that came together working for, you know, the man or the thing that comes from another being.
Right. But that goes back to um they come just like we come in our shades, they come in our shades. The ones that's working against us, they come in all shades. But the ones that's helping us come in all shades.
Right. That's
Right?
why that discernment is key, so you can discern the spirit and the character of somebody.
Right. And then you get to read the person for who they is, as opposed to following the dogmatic pursuit of what has been weaponized against us. Racism is a weapon. It's one of the most subtle weapons because it's done under the pretense of the caste system,
Hmm.
right? Which is a governmental construct, right? So all of that shit is to be weaponized against us. They weaponized our spirituality and gave us religion as a weapon, right? They weaponized our understanding of um, law or lack thereof. They weaponized our ignorance.
And from the position of the total recall, I was able to see how everybody contributed to a focal point, which is now. And everybody that contributed um, gave up and sacrificed in order for us to overcome this great evil. And little did I know that's what it was all about. And so, my next course of business is to make the sacred union. Now, I got to figure that conundrum out. And I don't know how that's going to fare. But I ain't going to back down. I'm going to find the solution. Path of least resistance, according to the laws of electricity, as we learned from Tesla. The path of least resistance allows a current to flow at the most optimum rate of performance. So, in order for it to be the most successful, you have to find the path of least resistance. Find out what worked. All right. So, from there, um, I'm gonna put this on the back burner. I'm gonna go back to the lab. But if this is what I think this is telling me, then I'm gonna restate something that I stated before, that I should be having these CEOs march down here to make these workers whole. There's no way laborers, the lifeblood of every society, should be um, deceived out of their wages. You know, people deserve opportunities to save money and put up a nest egg for retirement. Nobody should have to work endlessly their entire life. Shouldn't have to do it.
Um, you should only work as long as you feel that you want to work after a certain point, because part of us being human, it is prescribed for us labor. Labor is to develop character. So we don't run from labor. We embrace it. It's part of the human experience. But in doing so, we can't tolerate the greed of the old regime and the selfish hoarding of the wealth from the people. And the only way to correct that error, right here from Orient, I'm going to tell y'all, is for somebody to figure out the conundrum, to dig down to the depths, find all of the lost jewels and bring them back to the surface so we can start living like humans again and building families again and loving each other again without all of the pain and the suffering and the misery. A lot of people gave a lot of sacrifices and self-sacrifice. It's the highest form of sacrifice. Self-sacrifice. Sacrificing your core self in order to accomplish an ultimate goal. That is a great sacrifice. Um, when you have an enemy that devoured the children, and you have to know how to use that to trap the enemy. Because if you don't use it to trap him, he's going to continue eternally to devour the children. So if we're going to free the children, we got to free the mothers so that they can protect the children. If we're going to free the mothers to protect the children, we have to liberate the fathers mentally, physically, emotionally, in order to provide the things needed for the mother to do her function as a mother. Funny thing about that is, everybody not a mother, but everybody that's capable of opening the portal of life think because they can do that, that make them a mother. But that in and of itself is not enough. You have to care more about the child than you care about yourself. Then the sacrifice of the child for the redemption of the child um, becomes part of the release mechanism in order to give that child even the opportunity to survive under the oppression of a beast that thought that everybody was only made to be workers, servants. And so we don't want to be a human race of slaves and a human race of servants to a few greedy wealth hoarders in secluded corners of the world that cares nothing about the people, care nothing about um, how they live, their suffering and their pain. Somebody has to care about the suffering and the pain. When you have workers that only want to go to work, they don't want um, to go to work and worry about the politics. There's a way to eliminate that. They don't want to go to work to deal with all of the dog eat dog, crab in the bucket scenario